Hey guys, welcome to Manifesting Better. I'm back with another video and another topic that needs to be addressed. I also have an Instagram account, the link for that is in the description box below. Coaching is also available, the link for that too is in the description box below. So, today's video is going to be a success story, a SP marriage success story. I posted this on my Instagram and a lot of you, and I took a poll and a lot of you wanted me to post that story here, and I would also want to go into detail on how this client of mine manifested marriage with her specific person. Before that, my self-concept one-on-one course is still on pre-booking. If you want to book it, I think 30 to 35 slots have been booked. It's right now at 15% off. As soon as 100 slots are booked, it will go back to its original price. You can DM me on Instagram for the same. Now, I will give you a little bit of a background on what was the situation for this client and how did she eventually manifest this marriage for herself. So she was involved with a person way back in 2013. They dated for a few years, broke up because of a long distance, because one of them moved out of the city, broke up because of a long distance relationship, got back together in 2019, and they wanted to get married. What happened was that the family said no. The guy's family said no to the marriage, and the girl was still in love with him. And then this girl discovered the law of attraction and the law of assumption, whatever you want to call it. She started applying some techniques, didn't get much results. She went on and went ahead with it for a pretty long time. And then she started getting some contact. But when she got contact, this was when the guy came only as friends. He didn't want anything more. He only came as friends, and they started being in contact in a friendship, right? So it became a friendship. It became a friendship where the guy knew that the girl had feelings for him. The guy also has had feelings for her, but of course, because of the family, it wasn't working out. This is when this girl came to me. This is when we had our first set of sessions, and this is when we first got connected. What happened was that when we got connected, the guy had lost feelings and he was searching for other girls for marriage. As they were going forward, the guy knew that the girl still had feelings for her, and my client, she knew that the guy knows that she has feelings for him. And as they were moving forward, he was searching for other girls, and he finalized one for marriage. And this is when the girl initiated, of course, after our conversation, this is when the girl initiated and told him that I want more out of this relationship. And because I want more out of this relationship, I wouldn't want to be involved with you when you are getting involved with someone else. And she cut contact. Now, if you want to know more about if you are in a similar situation, what to do, you can go check my video on why it's okay to walk away in the physical world. I will also put a link down for that video in the description. Then when these guys broke up, they were in a no contact situation for I think a month. While this girl was persisting, she was working on herself. We had a game plan for her, and she was following that game plan diligently. At that time, she was actually putting mind and body into it, and she was actually persisting. I think 3 to 4 weeks later, the engagement broke, and the guy contacted her, telling her that he misses her, and he misses her, and the marriage proposal that was there for him, that broke off, and they are not getting married anymore. This is when we had another set of sessions, and this is when they got into a contact where the guy started showing up, but in a hot and cold manner. Now, the hot and cold manner was as such that a few days he would initiate contact, they would talk, it would be a good conversation, it would be flirting, romantic conversations. He would tell her he misses her, and then it would proceed a little bit more from there, and then it went cold. And in the cold phase, it was no contact, it was not much communication, it was the girl chasing. And this is when at this time she was working on herself by herself. We were not connected. And this is where she fell off the wagon a little bit, which I got to know later. I will tell you as we move ahead. But this is where she fell off the wagon a little bit. She started chasing. She started stalking him. There were double texts, multiple texts, chasing energetically, chasing physically, stalking his social media, basically trying to manipulate the situation into something so that it works out in her manner, which was manipulation never works out. She was acting out of fear. Based on her fears, she started manipulating the situation, and that is when she contacted me again. Now, when she contacted me, I think it was in this September, and this September, I think in the starting of September, we got into contact again and we talked about it. We talked about how to proceed forward. We talked about what to do in the what to do moving ahead. October, she texts me, October first week, she texts me that, and I think she really got her act together in the middle time. October, she texted me and told me that the guy proposed to her for marriage, and he has talked to the family and they are all agreeing to it. And October 15th, or I think it was 16th, they came and they have finalized the marriage. They are getting engaged next month, and after the engagement they want to get married after in 2023. So the marriage is also fixed, the engagement is also fixed, and the marriage is finalized with both families agreeing. Now let me give my notes on what was happening and what actually was the turning point and the tipping point in the situation for her, so that if you are in a similar situation, you can apply this to yourself. First thing, when she got to know that the guy is getting involved with someone else, she walked away, not because to manipulate the situation, but because to respect herself. That was a very important thing to do in that situation. And I would, again, I don't know your situation personally. This is a generalized video, but I will post the video in the description where I talk about why it's okay to walk away in the physical world. And you can basically self introspect and go ahead with it. You can realize if you are in a similar kind of situation and you can take actions accordingly. That's one. Second thing, when she was in a hot and cold situation, what was happening was that even though we had worked on her self concept, which again is a very important part of the journey, and that is why my first course is on it, but because when we were working on her self concept, when the external situation changed, which means that when she was getting the hot movement, that is good, she was in control. But when the situation got a little bit cold and when the opposite started happening, it started happening because she was taking validation from the physical world and she was shifting accordingly. She was actually not true to herself. She was actually not persisting. She was just persisting based on convenience. Which means that when things were easy for her to persist, that is when she was persisting. But as soon as things got a little bit difficult, as soon as circumstances got a little bit up and down, she fell off the wagon and she went again into the chasing energy. In our last session, when we had the last session, what we primarily talked about was about how in her particular situation, she doesn't have the liberty and the chance to chase right now because she has grown a lot. But growth will not mean anything if you keep losing it as soon as things get difficult. Growth will not mean anything if you keep going back to the old patterns as soon as things start to go a little bit off. Growth will not mean anything if you are just persisting based on your convenience. Growth is only growth when you are persisting regardless of it. Growth is only growth when you are showing up in a new manner as soon as things, even when things are difficult, not just when things are easy. It is a common misconception. It is a common misconception in the manifestation community that we will never face any resistance. That's a wrong way to go ahead. When we start persisting, when we start putting things into action, we actually do face resistance. Resistance actually does come. It's about how we show up when that resistance comes is what matters. It's about how we show up when opposite circumstances come is what matters and is what will determine if you will get something or not. Because if you are just persisting based on your convenience, then you will also get things in the physical world based on that hot and cold persistence that you are giving. If you guys want to work with me one-on-one, you can reach out to me on my DMs. I do have a waiting list. So if you guys have to wait for a little bit, I really apologize for that. But I need to put 100% of my time and effort in every session that I take. So that's why I take only a limited amount of clients. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Click the like button if you liked the video. Subscribe and turn the notifications on for more such content. Comment down your video suggestions and I will see you guys in the next one.